He never thought he could retire at 55, but sure enough, he did. Stuff like this always makes me happy. Working with a guy, he needs a better half, and anxious in a job that's killing him, miserable, and it's just weird. Some people just need a kick in the pants, man. And that's what I do. I give them a kick in the pants. I said, dude, what is holding you back? Especially if you're in a job that is needed. So this guy, he quit on the 17th of December. Just quit, just the other day. And his company though is saying, hey, we can still use you on a contractual basis, consulting, would you be interested? He goes, of course, if he wants to. Interesting. Had another guy who said, I'm out. His company said, we'll give you $50,000 a year more to stay. He's like, huh? No. And I'm sitting there thinking, if they could have given you $50,000 more to stay once you're leaving, why didn't they give you that before? I love stories like this. So a man's going to take part-time gig consulting. He's on Obamacare, recognizes he's going to pay for it. With all the taxes he's saving, with all the time he's going to have, he's like, I can get in better shape. 100%, man. 100%. The issue is, of course, so he never thought he could do it. The reason he never thought he could do it because he never took the time to actually examine his financial needs. And that's, I was talking to this guy the other day, a really smart guy, and he had read that book I referred to all by an actuary, Frederick Vitesse, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The Contrarian Retirement Plan, by far and away the best book you can read. This isn't some financial advisor. This is an actuary. Actuaries, what they do is they crunch numbers for risk mitigation. That's what they do. And this guy was telling me, he said, dude, you're so right. That book, such an easy read, and it's just chock full of stats that are irrefutable about your ability to retire relative to what you've been told. So you got two things. You see that, A, you're not going to need 8% of your pre-retirement income to retirement. That's just stupid, foolhardy. Frederick talks about that. I got a guy mowing the lawn here, so bear with me just a second. So we'll come by this guy here real quick. And it's cold out here, my friends. Whew. Hold on just a second. There we go. Burr. I wish I had fur. You guys know where that's from? Burr. I wish I had fur. Anyway, so we got two. There's another guy. This guy's blowing leaves. Another guy. So he's saying, look, at the end of the day, two things you got to understand. A, the numbers you've been told are wrong. Well, probably three things here about how much you need in retirement. And based on your current income is so flippin' stupid. It's just dumb. Now, that doesn't mean it's not applicable to you. It might well be. Stop clock, broken clock, and all that. But the idea that you need 80% of your pre-retirement income or 70%, you don't know. Or that doesn't mean anything. It's not applicable to you. So you get through that first. Part two is you say, all right, how much do I need then? All right, you figure that out. All right. So that's the part two is the big one. So recognize that the tried and false, get it, true, false, the tried and true, tried and false, of 80% pre-retirement income is completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with you. So we go to part two of that. Well, how much do I need? And then you start crunching the numbers. You're like, whoa, turns out I don't need that much at all. What I thought. Now, some of you do, might. Some of you might not. I don't know. Hey. But at the end of the day, until you crunch those numbers, you're operating on blindly. And one thing I've learned in flight school I never went to flight school, is don't fly blind. Take your blinders off, mi amigos. Which means crunch the flipping numbers. Let's go this way. So you say, how much, honey buns, are we going to need? And she's going to say, well, I'd like to travel. How much do we need to travel? Well, I'd like to take a nice couple vacations a year. How much is that? Well, $10,000 a year. Okay. So we got travel. We got hopefully no mortgage, hopefully no car loan. That's the big one right there, car loan. Mortgage is a big one. Car loans are the biggest one I've come to the conclusion of. No car loan, no mortgage. You like to do some travel. All right, you need some health care. I grant you that. Health care is what? How are we going to get it? I just use $1,000 a month as a default per person. Might be more, might be less, depending on your circumstances, depending on if you get the APTCs. So, hey, puppy, that's what I use. Hey, so I use $24,000 a year to start with. And if you're married filing jointly, that means if you have less than $70,000, we can reduce that significantly by start with that. So we got $10,000 a year for travel, $24,000 a year for healthcare. That's $34,000. All right. And then we're gonna have how much to live on, to pay the bills, go out to eat, to live, and buy groceries, fill up the car with gas. $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. How much? So let's just say it's $4,000 a month. That's $48,000. All right, so I got to round that up. So we got $50,000 for day-to-day, plus $24,000 of health care, $74,000 plus $10,000 for travel. That's $85,000 a year, basically $7,000 a month. All right. So how do we have that $7,000 a month coming in? Well, first thing we can do is we say, look, if we can reduce our $7,000 a month to $5,000 a month because of, if we can reduce that, i.e. watch that top line AGI amount, what does that mean? That means we won't pay $24,000 a year in Obamacare. That means we'll pay, I don't know, freaking $5,000. I don't know what it's going to be. So now let's reduce Obamacare to $5,000. Maybe not. Let's say $10,000. From $10,000 to $10,000 from $24,000. All right. So now we're paying $10,000 for Obamacare, $10,000 for travel, $50,000 a year on expenditures. All right. So now our AGI is $70,000. Probably still too high, but you hear where I'm going. All right. So now we say, where is that $70,000 a year going to come from? Well, you can work a little bit, like my man's doing. Dig ditches, maybe not. Maybe just pull it from your portfolio. Maybe you got $1 million in your 401k. We'll just use that for example. You take $70,000 a year out. Now you're going to pay tax on that, so that's going to put you above that threshold. So you might have to say we got to cut back on our month-to-month expenditures to make sure we don't go above that $60,000 to $68,000 threshold, so we can qualify for the APTCs, accelerated premium tax credits for Obamacare. However, I will tell you, I have a sneaky suspicion. If you're going to spend $10,000 a year on travel, you're probably not spending $5,000 a month or $4,000 a month on day-to-day stuff like food, cable bill, utilities. I just don't think you are. Now, some of you might. In that case, you're going to pay the full brunt of Obamacare. But just going back to, we got $1 million, all right? We pull $70,000 a year from that. I'm 55. I got $1 million. Me and my wife. All right, I'm just using this for example. So I can pull $70,000 a year from my $1 million portfolio. That's 7%, Josh. Oh my goodness. I'm going to do that until I'm sick. We'll just say 65 for simplicity. By then, my wife and I will generate between us $5,000 a month in Social Security. All right. So now, just for simplicity, at that point, we'll get $50,000 or $60,000 a year from Social Security. And it probably won't be $5,000. It'll probably be $4,000 because it'll be reduced because of taking it early. So we'll just say we both get $2,000 a month on Social Security at 65. All right, probably actually be more than that. So for the next 10 years, I need $70,000 a year for my portfolio. All right, I got $1 million. I'm gonna assume we don't make any interest at all. So 10 times 70 is $700,000. In 10 years, I'll only have $300,000 left in my 401k. All right, and I'll start taking Social Security. I'm gonna get $48,000 a year from Social Security, $4,000 a month. I'll be on Medicare at that point. Cost for Medicare still, that's not cheap. It'd be about $1,000 a month for hubby and wife at that point. All right. So am I still going to travel at $10,000 a year? Well, I don't know. Probably not. But let's just say you do. I could be doing that for another 20 years. No. As you get older, you're not going to do as much. So we'll just nuke that for the time being. So I got $1,000 a month for Medicare, and we're just going to say $4,000 a month for day-to-day expenses. That's $5,000 a month. $60,000 a year, of which I'm getting how much from Social Security? Oh, $48,000 a year. How much do I have in my portfolio? I have $300,000. So I don't know what 12 into 300,000 is. But if I take 5% of 300,000, that's $15,000 a year. So I'm taking less than 5% distribution at 65, because I need 12,000 a year. My portfolio is 300,000. I knew if I took 5% off a $300,000 portfolio, that would give me 15,000. So if I taken 15,000 a year out, 5% plus my Social Security, that gives me $63,000 a year, which to pay for Medicare and $4,000 a month day-to-day living expense. And I'll have $3,000 extra to pay whatever taxes on top of that. Is that doable? Unequivocally. Unequivocally. I still think that's probably even a pretty high expense relative to what you'll truly need. Hey, anyway. But Josh, I get it, man. I'm assuming no growth either for 10 years. All right. Now, I don't know if we're going to go to Japan. Could. In that case, you got to have to restructure. We get a couple down years back to back. Well, don't take those vacations, for heaven's sake. Everybody knows this. All right. If we go to a moderate return environment, say 4 to 5%, that $300,000 I'm leaving you with at 65, you'll have more than that. For heaven's sake, you might have $500,000. Take 5% of 500,000. That's $25,000 a year on top of your Social Security, which was reduced to $2,000 a month per you and wifey. I mean, all this stuff is doable, but all is contingent on your expenses, always. Anyway, so congratulations to my man there. It's gonna go, and then all right, I'll just do another video. All right, what are your thoughts? We'll see you.